So here's the inverter for unit 616. As I said, we have 6 arrays on the roof here. So each array is 6 modules and one of these assemblies. The assembly itself starts with an inverter. There's a DC disconnect, an AC disconnect, and a meter. So the way this works is all of our electricity is coming down through conductors in this 1-inch conduit, coming into this gutter. This is a common gutter, as well as this gutter is a common gutter. Conductors for this particular unit that we're looking at are coming through here, going through various lightning arrestor, lightning protection. These are just cylinders filled with sand. So if there's a surge of electricity, it'll shoot out a nice little glass thing that'll be a pretty cool paperweight. But then we need to be replaced. We put those on just for extra added protection. They're not required. There's probably other lightning protection, but just for our own benefit, we like to have that to protect these systems. So electricity is coming through this trough as DC current, upwards of 600 volts at times. So we want to be very careful not to ever open this up unless we know exactly what we're doing. The current is coming through here through this DC disconnect switch. First step to turning the system on out here is to engage the DC disconnect to the on position. This is a locking box. It's not supposed to open when it's turned on. You can also put a lock on here if you want to keep anybody from getting their fingers in there and getting 600 volts of DC. Not a bad idea. You can lock this and still operate it in both directions, so there's never any reason for that to be open. We leave it up to the customer discretion if they want to lock those. We don't want to, we don't own it anymore, so you should take whatever precautions you think are necessary. The same thing with any other disconnect switch you see on the property here at all from the electricians. The next thing that happens is the power goes through this little conduit into our inverter. The inverter is the brain of the operation here. What it does is it takes the current coming from the solar system and it mimics the power that's happening on the grid right now, and it synchronizes them. So the inverter doesn't actually have an off or on switch. It only works if there's power from the sun and power from the grid. When both of those things happen, it aligns them together and connects them. So the only other switch there is on the AC disconnect. So turn that on, and now electricity is able to flow. Everybody took basic junior high school science, I'm sure, and we know that if you don't have a complete circuit...
Wait a sec, it's working.
Yeah, it's working, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
If you don't have a complete current, if you don't have a complete circuit, this system will not work. There's 4 different ways we could turn this system off right now. Any number of them would actually turn it off completely. The first way is to flip either of these switches. Just flipping one of these switches will turn this thing off. One thing to remember, though, is that when you turn the system off, it'll probably take a couple seconds, maybe a couple minutes for the inverter to completely discharge because there's some capacitance inside here. So just because it looks like it's on, it might not be. These things are not powered by a plug or anything like that. The only power they get is from the solar electricity, so they have to have some capacitance. The other way to turn it off is to go to unit 616's main sub-panel disconnect right here, which is what I was talking about inside. So if I turn this breaker off, not only will we lose power inside unit 616, we'll also turn off these inverters. I don't know if you want to demonstrate that. Make sure that actually to show you guys that these things will not work without grid
let's
power.
do it and then see the wheel should stop, right?
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
So that just shows that now that breaker inside that unit
Is safe.
is safe. Correct. And then these meters over here are actually net meters now. So these will tell you how many kilowatt hours you've used here, how many kilowatt hours you've produced, and then kind of what your net balance is for the month. So the great thing about these meters that say net on them, these net meters, these bidirectional meters, is that what actually this means is that the grid is your battery, as I was saying earlier, and every electron that you produce, every kilowatt hour that you produce on one of these is either going to be A, used in the unit as free electricity, or B, sold to the grid and credited to your account, which you can then take back at nighttime for free electricity. So you're capitalizing on every single one of these kilowatt hours. Not a single one will ever go to waste. That's thanks to the folks in the government of Massachusetts that insist on net metering as a political policy. So, you turn them all on, make sure they're all going to work fine. And once these systems are on, there's never really a reason that anybody should ever have to come out here and turn them off. What we do is we look at your, there's the MTC has a requirement that you report what the systems produce every month to get the rebate. That's part of the rebate paperwork, is reporting. And what we do is we ask that you also, when you're reporting that, you report it to our website as well. That's all going to be taken care of from our customer service representatives. What we'll do is we'll look at the production, and if we see any issues with the production, then we'll probably call you up and ask what's going on. Has anything changed with the system? If we don't know, then we'll send somebody out here to take a look. Or if you notice something different, then you give us a call. We'll come out here and see what's going on with it. We have a production guarantee, which means that if your system is down because something malfunctioned and you lose kilowatt hours, we'll pay you for the lost power while we're fixing it. So basically we have a 10-year production guarantee. This thing's going to be producing at or near its current rate for the next 10 years, and we guarantee that.